Today we're taking a look at the new 2026 carbon bow from PSE, the Sicario. Welcome back to Mike's Archery. Today we have got the new 2026 lineup from PSE, and we have got their brand new carbon bow for this year called the Sicario. Now we're going to jump into the specs on this bow, and it is a faster bow than they have put out in several years. So the speed rating on this thing is coming in at 354 feet per second. And then if you put the performance mod on it, you're getting 357 feet per second. It is a 33-inch axle-to-axle bow, giving it an overall cam-to-cam length at 38 7/8. Now the brace height is fairly low, and that's where they're getting some of that speed at 5 1/4 inches. Reflex on this bow coming in at 3 5/16. And then the advertised weight on this bow is at 3.9 pounds. We did pull it out of the box, throw it on the scales, and we got it at 4.2. After we pulled the stubby off of there, the limb dampener stuff off of it, we got it right down to 4 pounds. So give or take, you're pretty much right there at what advertised weight is on this bow. Now with the new cam that they put on this, you've got a draw length adjustment going from 24.5 out to 30 inches. And that's going to cover pretty much everybody on the market except you long draw guys. Now the bow is available as usual in that 50, 60, 70, and 80 pound weight options. And then with this new cam, we have changed the let-off options. So it's a little bit redesigned. It actually now has 4 positions for let-off on it rather than 3 on the previous models and the Evolve cams over the years. But that's only going to top out at 85% let-off. So you're going to be able to take this bow down to a 70% let-off and then every 5% from there. So 70, 75, 80, and topping out at 85%. They did away with that high let-off of 90%. It is a little tougher to shoot on that when you see some of those bows shooting them at 90%. So that 85 is going to give you just a little bit more holding weight, a little bit more stability, and probably make this bow shoot a lot better. So from there, you've got a performance mod that also has 4 positions, but it is going to take you another 5% lower, and it's going to adjust from 65 out to 80% if you're really wanting to get higher holding weights and just get a lot less let off to get a little more speed out of this bow. Now as we get into the features of this bow, it is an all new redesigned riser. It may look similar to what you've seen in the Mach series, but the geometry is a little bit different on it. It's still built with that dead frequency carbon in it, so it's taking the resonation out of the bow, making it dead in the hand, and it is still all hand laid and made there in Arizona, so you've got brand new stuff coming from them, but still with that great quality with the US build. Now with this new limb angle pocket on it, you're changing the limb angle on this new riser to 28 degrees, which if you looked at the 33 from last year, it had a 35-degree angle on that limb pocket. Now what that's going to do is improve the effective brace height on this bow at full draw, making it easier to shoot, and that full draw stability system with this new cam, it gives it a 7/8 effective brace height over that Evolve cam. So again, making this bow more stable at full draw and just a real nice bow to shoot, even though they are getting higher speeds with that lesser brace height. Now as we look at this new FDS cam, we've already mentioned that we've got those new mods on there. They're going to have the 4 positions available to adjust from that 70 to 85%. They did keep with the 220 shim system to adjust this bow, so tuning will be nice and easy with that system, being able to move it back and forth and get that perfect tear. And we did notice the foot stop on that cable stop with the new module is a little bit wider. It's going to give a little more solid back wall feel, but frankly the old Evolve cams were pretty rock solid to begin with. This is just going to make it even more so. Now from there, standard features that we've seen from PSE for the last several years with all your integration options. Obviously with your integrated rest, you can run either the core mount or your QAD integrated mount for all the rest options that are out there from other companies. And then you've got the pick rail up front if you want to do an inline sight with pick mount. You've still got that option on this bow as well. And then you've got that new PSE 2-piece quiver mount. Mounts the arrow holder onto the roller guard and just kind of cleans everything up, makes it nice and solid with a 2-piece quiver. And of course you can always put a standard quiver on this bow as usual. Still got your string stops, all your noise dampening, just an overall awesome bow. We're really excited to see what kind of speeds this puts up. Now as we look at the color options on this bow, pretty similar to what we've seen for the last couple years. Obviously a blackout, you've got a charcoal option, their clay brown is still there, a darker green, and then in the camo side of things, we're going to have that Cryptek Skyfall available, as well as a QU Verde 2.0, as well as Mossy Oak Bottomlands. Now price point is going to stay the same as what we have seen in carbon bows for the last couple years. You're right at $2 grand at $19.99. but frankly, that's where you're going to be if you're wanting a top-end carbon bow these days. Now from here, we're going to step back to the lane. We're going to shoot this over the chronograph, give you a breakdown on all your speeds and noise ratings and just an overall feel of the bow. We'll be going from that 350 grain out to a 500 grain arrow, and as usual, shooting that bow at 29-inch draw length, 70 pounds on that 85% let off. So we have stepped back here to the lane and we have got the new PSE Sicario. We're going to put this thing through its paces and see what kind of speeds it puts up. But as usual, we are going to be shooting this bow on 29-inch draw length, 70 pounds, and this one's going to be at 85% let off. So let's start with that 350 grain arrow for you. So 350 grain arrow is coming in at 336 feet per second. So frankly, it's one of the fastest bows I think we've shot in a long time. And just the feel that you're getting out of this bow is fantastic for those speeds. And it's not a false speed as to what they're advertising from what we're seeing here. So let's throw a 400 grain through it, see what we get there. All right, 400 grain is coming in at 317 feet per second. On to the 450 grain arrow. All right, so 450 grain is coming in still over 300 feet a second at 302. And then our last one here, that 500 grain arrow for you. All right, coming in at 289. So really fast speeds out of this bow, which is what we expected, but we just rarely see them actually hit spec numbers. So you bump this out to 30-inch draw length and do those numbers over again, you're going to be pretty much right there with what they're advertising in the 350s. Now as far as the decibel reading on that, the bow's coming in with 93.8 decibels, which for a speed bow, that's pretty nice and quiet. So really impressed with the numbers this bow is putting up. Now, when you talk about how this thing feels, that full draw stability, it sits really well in your hand. The draw cycle is not nearly as aggressive as you would think it would be. Typically, when we see these speed bows and they're trying to get those extra few feet per second out of them, they get pretty harsh through the draw cycle. This bow is not that way. It comes over pretty nice. I mean, it's obviously got a little bit of drop there in the back end, but that 85% let off is helping that, so you're not dropping in such a deep valley like you do on some of their other bows with 90%. And just the way this bow holds for a 5.5-inch brace height, we've not had a chance to shoot it at long ranges and really mess with it too much from that standpoint. But boy, it holds really well and shoots really well. Dead in the hand. It's got some positive feedback to it. We're not seeing a kick top or bottom. It's got just a good thump when it goes off and then no vibration after that. Overall, with what PSE's done over the last few years, and we've loved that Evolve cam, but this new FDS cam shoots and feels fantastic. If you're looking for something to get a few more feet per second out of it, maybe because you're short draw or you just want to get all that you can, then check out the new Sicario from PSE. If you're wanting to grab one of these bows, stop in the shop, give us a call so we can put one in your hands.